Hey Legionnaires, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that sub button and hit that notification bell so you're not missing any of the content that we have coming out. And for our first video today, we are going to be covering Marauders issue number 18. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with Marauders, go ahead and check out the link down in my description. It'll get you completely caught up on everything related to Marauders. And with that being said, let's dive into this issue. So this issue drops us to Madripoor, and we have Professor X and Magneto both going to what seems to be some kind of opening ceremony. And as Professor X and Magneto walk through this town, they're greeted by the children pretty welcomely, and this is unexpected, especially considering the Verendi government. And this is when we see Emma Frost giving a speech to the people of the town, and she opens it up by just thanking them for a long time friendship, because this place has always been a high influence of trade and a safe harbor for refugees from all corners of the globe for decades, and that's including mutants alike. And so today, now that Krakoa has the funds and the means to pay their debts back, that's exactly what they're doing. And this is when we pick up with our elitists. And obviously, these guys are not happy. Not one single bit. Because at the end of the day, this is taking away money from their pockets. Because their end goal here is to buy up all the slums and turn it into the next utopia, if you will, with skyscrapers galore. And this would cause a lot of people to end up homeless. A lot of poor people to end up homeless. And the Marauders aren't okay with that. And so this opening that Emma Frost is doing is really a flex. But it's a way for her to get good public affairs. Public opinion will definitely be swayed in their direction. And this is when we see the building revealed. And the building is actually a hospital. And it's actually named after Moira X. And Kate Pride, she thanks her, like, this is a huge help. It's really going to change things around here. And for Emma, she's like, it was all worth it just to see the look on Eric and Charles's faces. And then we cut over to the hospital in operation. And we have Callisto and Mask. And Mask, at first, he's unsure why he's even here. But Callisto's letting him know that this hospital is not necessarily your traditional hospital. While yes, it is traditional in a sense, they're also bringing mutant talents along into it. And she tells him to scrub up. And Mask is really starting to lose his patience, but this is when another doctor comes in and says that he's sending in his first patient, which just happens to be an infant with a cliff. And at first, Mask is a little hesitant. He's never done something like this on an infant. But Callisto reinforces him, gives him the little push he needs to do this, and we see him use his powers, and the baby's cleft lip is fixed. And the doctor says, when you're ready, I'll send in your next patient. And Callisto lets him know, I got work to do, have fun. And he sits and stares at his hands. Like, this is a whole new revelation for him. Like, he is going to be able to heal children on a whole different scale and do some real good in the world. And this is when we pick up with Bishop, Pyro, and Iceman. And they walk into this bar, this saloon. And the first thing they ask is, who's the owner? And the man behind the bar says that it's him, and he doesn't have anything against them in particular, but the mafia that took over the island, they say mutants are bad and can't be trusted, and that they make trouble for people who disagree. So he asks them to kindly leave. But this is when Iceman offers him a whole suitcase full of money and asks him to pretty much buy the bar, the hotel, the land, like all of it. And the owner's just like, yeah, totally. Grabs the case, is like, pleasure doing business with you. There's some guns under the floor. The roof leaks a bit on the west side, and the tax man comes around every New Year's, and if you don't pay him, he'll charge and get a receipt. He'll charge you double the next year. And just like that, he's gone. But we also see an individual texting somebody as the owner leaves. And this is when we pick up back with our elitists. And we see Kane and Frankenstein. And Kane's being told, the muties just bought another place. And so this is when they're ready to unleash some revenge on them. And this is when we see the new Reavers. And we see Pyro, Iceman, and Bishop having some drinks at the bars, celebrating, this hostile takeover that they're doing. And this is when one of the Reavers comes into the room and blasts Iceman right in the chest. And at first, Bishop's a little cocky, like, yeah, man, there's only one of you guys. Like, I can't believe they only sent one. And this is when we see the army of Reavers they sent after them. And so these guys are battling it out. And Iceman's saying, you know, I'm holding back. And one of the Reavers says, that's true. You didn't hold back it last time. And Iceman recognizes the man. And the Reavers are all individuals that have been slain by mutants, by like Logan. All these people have been slain at one point in time, or, you know, maimed, if you will, not slain, and left to die by mutants. So Cade and them, and Frankenstein and them decided to take them and make them stronger, make them bigger, and get a chance to enact revenge upon Krakoa. You know, and our heroes, they're really holding back on these guys, but they let loose. And we see a giant explosion come from Bishop after they try shooting him, only for all the Reavers to get blasted outside and news cameras be directly on them. Because at last, this was a setup. This was to get public opinion against the mutants, against the Marauders. And this is exactly what we see at the United Nations in New York City. And we pretty much have them saying, you know, what we're seeing in these videos is brawls instigated in the streets by the officers of the Hellfire Trading Corporation. And he wants promptly for the Marauders to be banned from any more influence over their place. And without any kind of representation from Krakoa actually being there, the UN barred the Marauders from landing on Madripoor again. And so then the mutants can't interfere now. And the elitists are able to liquidate all of Lowtown slums and finish creating their skyline. And with the mutants no longer there to protect any of the people, they send the Reavers in to send in eviction notices. And that will be where this issue ends. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I really did enjoy this issue. It wasn't like the most amazing Marauders issue out there for sure, but it was a lot of fun. We got to see the new Reavers, and we got to see, you know, it takes more than just power and money and mutant abilities to be able to do what they're doing. You know, these elitists are out manipulating them using the power of the media, which is way more opinion swaying than anything like buying a hospital could possibly do, especially if you're on, you know, the news channel. And so we're having to see the X-Men really have to maneuver politics around the world. And so it's really a awesome and unique take on it, I think. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you have not yet, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and go check out Comic Breakdown and More podcast, available on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, where we talk about all the comics we cover on this channel in a more in-depth description aspect, as well as talking about pop culture stuff, talking about WandaVision, we talk about Wonder Woman 84, we're going to be talking about all the new stuff coming out from Marvel, so be sure, go check that out. New episodes every Friday, and until the next video.